Hi everyone, this is Henry from Quick Civil Series. Now we're going to continue our discussion on the trusses. Now the next thing is for us to load the truss. Okay, first of all I'm going to describe a very simple loading approach. Then after that we show you how you can use the software to build the loading by yourself. Now, but in this very simple approach, let's assume that you already have a loading that you want to put load the truss with. Okay, I'll go back to steel structures, then I will put insert my loading. So what you need to do is to click on insert point load. Okay, now as I said earlier, it is very important that you check element content mode, because it will enable you to, it will make sure that the point you are clicking is actually an element node, or is actually an element endpoint. Okay, if it doesn't land on an element endpoint, it's not going to insert the load. This is very important because the load must be dropped in the joint, or else the load will hang in the air, and that is not what we want. Okay, so to ensure that that does not happen, that is why we build in such safeguards. Once element contact node is checked, the software will always make sure that the point, if the point you clicked does not touch the joint, then the load will not be inserted. Okay, I'll click on insert point load, then I'll click on a joint point, and then click the next point. Now the next point I'm going to click is not really important. Okay, this second point is not important. What is important is actually the first point. Making sure that the first point actually is clicked on a node or a joint is very important. Now the next is for you to enter the load. In this case, let me say 6 kilonewton. You can see the unit, 6 kilonewton. That's it, just enter and it's there. Then I can insert the next one. Let's also assume 6 kilonewton. Now this is a very straightforward loading mechanism. Okay, now to load your truss can be more complex than this, but we are assuming that you already have the loading. Later I will show you how you can use the software to build your roof truss point load. Actually the software only builds your roof truss point load, although the mechanism, you can also use it to build any other form of trusses, but for now it is just intended for roof truss loading. Okay, but if you have the loading, just like what we have just done, click on insert point load, sketching your point load, and come here. You can see we have different various forms of loading. Under loading, first of all we have the point load, then we have so many other forms of loadings. We of course look at them in details by the time we go over to building your roof point load, but it's a very simple case. As I said earlier, assuming the fact that you already have your point loads and you want to put in the point load I read, just come here and put the point load. That's all you need to do. Okay, sketching a point load, a very good example. If I click here, insert point load, and I click on a node point, and I click. Let me also show you, in case you are not landing on a node point. Yeah, of course in this case it snapped, but if you didn't land on a node point, the software will not actually allow you, let's assume it is here, you can see it will not allow you to drop the point load. In case in very complicated arrangement, this is quite a very stressful trusses, but there are trusses that are so complicated, the arrangement is so complicated, the coordinates are so close to each other that you might be clicking on a line and you will not know that you're actually touching the node. That is why we build in such safeguards, so that if this check element contact mode is on, the software will always verify that the point you are clicking is another point. If it is not another point, it will not allow the point load to be inserted. To avoid mistakes is very, very important, in order for us to avoid mistakes. So that's it. Okay, now if after inserting the point load, of course the next thing you will do is to insert your support, because for a truss to be a truss, either we have a hinge support or a pin support, and the next one is going to be a roller support. What I need to do, sorry, I added a point load. Just select and delete, or you can go to point load properties to delete the point loads. Okay, insert support, click on the and again make sure the safeguard is on, element contact mode, so that it will make sure you are clicking another point. Okay, so I'll change this to roller. It's going to be a roller support. So that's it. I've defined the point load, I've defined the support where I want the support to be, and the next, analyze truss analysis. Automatically your truss is analyzed. Now, to see the forces on the element, all you need to do is to click on element properties, and you can see my elements are well labeled. Just select on any of the elements, then you can see this is the point load force due to point load. We'll talk about all these other ones later, but then at the end of the day, the software will always take a summary, knowing which of all these element forces, whichever one is greater, and it will use it. You can see in this case, this element 1, which is this guy, is in compression. So if you select element 2, you can see it's in tension. So the software will always tell which one is in tension, in compression. You can see element 3, which is this guy, have a 0, both tension and compression are 0. Okay, then you have element 4, which is in tension, and this is element 4, that is this, almost similar with element 2. So as you navigate down, you can see the forces on the element. Okay, and then you'll be able to know which element is in tension, which element is in compression. Now, quite very straightforward and very simple. As I said earlier, this is assuming that you already have the point loads. Okay, and then the software will help you and do the rest. Okay, now the next example I'm going to show you is going to show you how you are going to use the software to actually build the point load by yourself. Okay, that is for people that want to go further. If you have your point load, what we have just done is all you need to do is straightforward, put in the point load, put in the support, click truss analysis, and the truss is analyzed. If you want to see the forces, click on element properties, and you can navigate up and down, and you see your forces. Okay, now the next I will show you how you will build your point load. Okay,